award-winning Ed Brown Show. And what we have here is Roderick Dunston. He's President and CEO of the Stroke Foundation. And actually, you never know. You know, this program was founded on a lot of people from the Stroke Foundation that have made contribution. And Roderick is here to tell us about what's going on in the future. Rod, tell us a little bit. You've been on here before, and
yes, sir.
You're associated with one of my staff members and
yes,
everything. Sir. And you guys are a living example of recovery.
Recovery.
So, tell me about this new project that's coming up.
I mean, we got a couple of new stuff coming up, but one of the things we want to bring out, you know, the Roderick Dunston Foundation is a nonprofit organization, 501c. It was founded in 2010 after I had my second stroke.
You had 2 strokes?
I have 2 strokes, sir. After I had my second stroke, to educate the neighborhood as far as PG County, Maryland, and Virginia about stroke awareness. Also, not only to educate, but to get the word out about stroke awareness, to advocate for stroke patients and survivors and their caregivers in the PG County and the DMV area. We do that by doing a lot of seminars. I do seminars, I do health fairs. I also do a lot of not just speaking engagements. I'm an ambassador for the American Heart Association.
Ambassador for the Heart Association, too.
And ambassador for the National Stroke Association. So we do a lot of projects throughout the DMV area to get the word out about stroke awareness. And I'm just blessed to be able to, you know, be on your show, and an honor to be on your show again, to spread the word and educate people about stroke awareness.
Okay, now, getting people to volunteer, how do you go about that? And do you, this stroke thing, most of us think in terms of it affecting certain groups. Now, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, that's a myth. I mean, the stroke stroke do not have any age don't discriminate against age. You know, so basically you can be 0 to 110. You know, we know there's record of, you know, for infants having strokes.
Infants are going to have.
Yeah.
Well, to me, that'd be difficult to find out, but since the infant, most of the time, an infant can't talk.
True, but a lot of the technology.
How do you do that?
Yeah, a lot of the technology this year, technology during this time.
The technology.
They can actually see if there's an aneurysm. You know, because stroke is basically an aneurysm, blood clot or blood blockage in the arteries and stuff. So they can see if there's any kind of blockage.
Just through regular examination?
Right.
Okay.
With the infants, it would be mostly with sonograms and.
Sign language?
Yeah.
No, it's no instrumentation involved.
No, it's instrumentation, but you know, you gotta have a doctor. I mean, I'm not a PhD, but they actually can go and be checked out about, you know, see if something happened. But I mean, with me, I had mine at age 37. And since I had my stroke, I was able to visit different stroke victims and stroke survivors. And what people don't know at the American at Children's Hospital, there is a stroke wing. There's a wing for those kids who had stroke. And I've been up there to visit the kids. I've seen kids that's 16, 18. There was a 10-year-old that just had a stroke a couple of weeks ago. He's doing pretty well now, but you know, it was shocking to him and shocking to his parents. That, you know, so that's why we try to educate people as much as we possibly can. 80% of strokes are preventative. 80% of strokes are preventative.
Preventative? That's what I was thinking. Now, how do you, in strokes and heart attacks, the differential, give us that.
A stroke basically, like I said, is an aneurysm. The aneurysm is a blood clot in your blood, in your cells in your blood. I mean, in your brain, or, you know, with the arteries that's going through your blood vessels that's going in your brain. A heart attack is basically what you're dealing with your heart, where your heart, there's a blood vessel clot that's in your heart.
And the heart.
Which is in your heart. So.
Now, conditions of either one of them affects the other.
It
For
could.
instance, if you have problems with your heart, you're more susceptible to stroke, or if you have a stroke, then your heart is affected.
I mean, it could be. With me, with me, I had a stroke, And with my stroke is my second stroke, which put me in the hospital for 10 days. It also, they was able to find out that I had so much fluid built around my heart that only 15% of my heart was working at the time. So with that, they finding that out and locating that the heart was not pumping correctly, that diagnosed with congestive heart failure. And my stroke was part of the reason why, because all the blood that was usually pumped to the brain cells wasn't getting through, so it was building up a fluid around the heart, which damaged the heart. But there's two different things.
Yeah,
So,
well, you know, I was driving along, and on the radio they were saying, hey, look, you know, if you have a stroke, if you have some aspirin, and take an aspirin and some water, and that gives you enough time to get somewhere, the hospital or wherever.
yeah.
Now, is that true?
I mean, yeah and nay, because the thing is, though, they actually telling a lot of people to take, you know, like a baby aspirin a day, help out with your heart and help out with, you know, far as the blood flow. But now a lot of doctors taking patients and stroke victims off of aspirins, because they're basically giving you a blood, because you kind of double up. Aspirin is kind of like a blood thinner. So majority of the medication that they give
aspirin
you,
is
morphine is more pretty much, or the other blood thinner is what they're giving you today. So aspirin is good. If you're taking it, I'm not telling you not to take it, but they try to wean people off of taking aspirin.
But you would say that it's not a treatment, that's an emergency
Oh, no, you definitely
situation.
I'm a
that
big,
you get involved of aspirin.
Yeah, I'm a big advocate on making sure that you always go get yourself checked out. Prior to me having a stroke victim, I used to go when I felt like going to the doctor. But I'm a big advocate in this, going every 6 months or every 3 months if you probably can.
Oh, every 3 months?
I suggest you go every 3 months, because you never know what's going on in your body. We are very hard-headed when it comes to, and very stubborn. We want to do a lot of home remedy. Or, you know, we want to diagnose our own self. We catch a cold or something, we want to go get the over-counter stuff. You got health insurance. And if you don't have health insurance through your job, you know, there's plenty of stuff out there that can help you out. So just try to make sure we go get checked out and get yourself, make sure you take care of yourself. As we get older, as we get seasoned, as time goes along, I ain't gonna say older, I suggest we go take care of ourselves. And the only way we can take care of our body, which is our temple, is going to the doctor getting checked out.
How often do you think individual should see the doctor? Every 90 days? Or?
I try to go every 90 days.
Every 90 days.
A lot of people they to go for their annual checkup, because they get their free checkup and all that stuff.
We get accustomed to that for years. You get an annual, that's why they call it annual checkup. And then you say, well, I've had my checkup. And then you wait another year, and then you go. But your environment has some effect. And it changes. Even I would say trauma. You may develop more trauma between the last time that you were to see the doctor, and having that trauma may weaken your heart or cause other problems.
Absolutely correct.
That you don't know about.
Yeah, but the thing is, I try to, when I go to do my speeches or doing seminars or speaking to different people, I say, remember when you was a kid? When you was a kid and your parents took you to the doctors like every 6 months or every 3 months. You know, you went to the doctor a lot because you had to go take your shots and all that stuff before school, before you get school age, and then when you're school age, you had to go to the doctor to get a certain thing. Whereas we get older, we still need to do the same thing, but we get in the habit of doing, I get that free checkup every year, so I wait till the year. And stuff.
Right.
You know, this could go back to the old habits when we was going to the doctors every 6 months or 3 months. So if we do that, a lot of the stuff that we might catch a lot of stuff that might happen to us later on that we didn't know that could damage our body worse than it is by being preventative. I call it PM, preventive maintenance to our body. Make sure that we get ourselves checked out and do the work that we need to do. Because again, like I said, 80% of strokes are preventative. And part of preventing that is not only exercise and eating the right thing, but educating yourself. And the key thing is to educate yourself. Well, that's what I was thinking in terms of the education portion. This is what you are really into. Yes, sir.
Trying to get people to realize that the things that were done early in their life was the reason that they made it thus far.
Yes, sir.
Because you started out with the checkups when
Yep.
you were born,
Yep.
and then you got away from it simply because you felt good.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of things that takes time to develop, and maybe in 3 months something will develop. Maybe it takes 6 months, depending on the chemistry of the body of
Correct.
the individual. And then another awareness thing is knowing the history of your family.
Oh, definitely.
You know,
We talked about
because,
that last time I was here.
that's but you know what the problem you have with that is that a lot of people don't want to give you that information that Aunt Susie had problems or Uncle John had problems. You know, they sort of keep that away because if they were educated to the point that it runs, they call it running the family, then
Yes,
they'd
sir.
be careful and of other things that they do,
I think you
because
hit on
that
it,
would actually incite this development again.
Yeah, you hit on a you hit on a key element of educating yourself and educating your family. Because one of the things you need to, as you get older, or if you have kids, to educate them on what your health problem is, because your health problem could be your kids' health problem. And see, I have 2 sons. One is 23, one is 13. And I try to tell them, your father had 2 strokes, hypertension. Watch your salt intake. Make sure you keep your body physical fit so you won't be obese and stuff like that. And it's great to know your family history. Like, my family history, I tell my sons.
And your wife's.
And my son's mother, he tells us, she tells him about her family, and we make sure that each side of the family educate the kids about what goes on in their family. So when they go to the doctors, how you get that questionnaire, it's like, do you have this history of so in your family? They know what they also can test you for,
Right.
and make sure they check you out
Okay.
prior to.
Now, how do you get around the diet aspects? Most of us are raised on certain diets, and we have a tendency to make them habitual.
Yeah, I grew up down south, so believe me, from North Carolina, we was high on the hogs and the fried chicken and the barbecue and stuff like that. You have to basically say to yourself, you want to be healthy. So certain things that you are, comfortable with, the comfort food, like the hot dogs or the fried chicken and stuff, you can still have the same type of food, but a different way. Instead of frying your chicken, you can bake it or grill it. We got a George Foreman now. You can put it up there. It's a little bit more healthier now. Instead of frying the fish, you can bake the fish or fry the fish or grill the salmon. In order for us to live as long as our ancestors did. I know I had an uncle that lived to be 105, but he was in North Carolina. He grew up on high on the hog. He eating all this fat stuff.
Right.
But today, the animals and stuff that we eat on, the meat we eat on now, is got different materials and different processes
Right.
that they go through. It's not the same when they was
Right.
growing up. So we need to make wise choices with our eating habits. When it's late at night, you're hungry, instead of stopping to get that Wendy's burger, that's, you can go to Wendy's, but get something like a salad or something that's better for you, healthier for you, because you definitely want to be able to not only live to see the next day, but at least see your kids graduate or go have kids. You want to be here long enough to take care of yourself. That's one of the things when I do have my seminars, is I educate people on making better eating habits. Also exercise habit too, because I have a lot of
But sometimes you're restricted by age on exercise. And then 100 push-ups you used to do, you can't do them. And although it's good for you,
Yeah.
But your body says no.
Yeah, but your exercises don't have to be 100 push-ups or 100 sit-ups. We all know that we have stuff like we do that, but we at least try to preach to people do 30 minutes a day. 30
Okay.
minutes a day. If you
Okay.
do
Now,
30 minutes,
30
30 minutes
minutes
a
a
day. It
day
don't have to be 30
of
minutes consistently, but you
of
like
no. Now you got to sort of monitor that. I mean, you could say, well, I want to exercise, and
yeah.
you may just do your hand,
You might
or
do
you
your
may
hands,
do
you
your
might do your
feet.
feet, you do your
But
legs.
the idea is that you have to do the exercise
Correct.
so that it's beneficial for both the chemical and the physical aspects of your body.
You're absolutely right. Because like I tell people, like, when you're at work, some people, you got several floors, and my building is 10 floors. I work on the
Well,
fifth.
steps, man.
I got foot. You can do steps. You can instead of walking up steps. If it's hard for you to walk up the steps, take the elevator up. But when you go down, take the stairs down, or walk 2 floors down, and then catch the elevator. That's getting your steps to count in to get your exercise in. If you do that throughout the 8-hour work period, you can get about 30 minutes in, back and forth, or you taking the time to walk to your car. If you take a metro, park your car at the other end of the parking lot so you can get them step counts in. That's your way you exercising. I mean, if you my age, I'm 44, I still can get out and physically. Of course, I referee basketball, even though this is my last year doing it. I still get out and do the exercise. I still get to run physically, even though, sometimes my leg give out because, the side effect from the stroke. But definitely exercise is key, along with eating right and picking, this and your stress level. Make sure your stress levels don't high. Stress is a very silent killer, and it's one of the reasons why a lot of people have.
See, the stress aspects of it is very difficult. Because you don't know, you can't control the stress because you don't know when it's coming.
You
know what I mean?
can't control and you can't control stress.
Okay.
Because
Tell us how.
because you have stress. You don't know when stress is coming, but it's how you intake the stress and how you figure out how to react to the stress.
Yeah. Well, see,
certain job situations, like for instance, I have a very stressful job. I work for DOD, Department of Defense, and there's constantly busy. You got decisions, but you got to take your time to figure out because you figure out what you're gonna do, how you're gonna solve, get the question, figure out what the solution to this problem is, and then come with a resolution without stressing yourself out. Because a lot of the times, if you just take a deep breath, that 2 or 3 seconds will calm you down so you can understand and relay the information and do what you need to, so you won't be a stress level. Also, certain things, situation that's like your job, you can't get away from the stress, but certain other situations where you don't have to be in that stress level position, like outside of in regular life. If someone's stressing you out, something that you can always step away until you get yourself together.
Now, and with adult, they can reason things like that. But how is it with a young child or either senior citizen?
Young with kids, we teach for the parents to speak to their kids. One thing I do with my son is when he come home from school, he's in the middle school. Dad, I had a stressful day, blah, 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 teacher, this test, this essay. All right, Jordan, take a break for a second. Come here. Let's have a conversation. Take his mind off of stuff he's stressing over. Listen to him. And then after a while, let him go back to his homework or the education he's trying to do, and he'd be refreshed, and the stress level is not that much pressure on it. As for senior citizens and adults, you retire.
Yeah.
If you retire, what stress you have?
Right.
You have a lot of stress. If your kids giving you stress because they need your help and stuff, because there's some senior citizens.
And sometimes
you got to remember though, they are
physical and sometimes it's financial.
You still got to take your time to relax, and just get all the information you can. Then again, take the deep breaths, relax, and figure out the correct solution to solve the problem, or try to work out together. There's a lot of stuff. Communication is key to everything. Any kind of stress relation, anything that's dealing with life. If you have good communication with the person that stress you out stuff, and you just communicate with them on a matter or a basis that you can be on a level playing ground, it's to help your stress level out.
Well, when you have stress, continuation of stress all the time, that has a tendency to affect your physical
Yeah, it does.
aspect. You, for instance, like in a financial situation, you know, where you handle a problem, you may pass it on to your child, and they may feel that they can't solve the problem the way that you are express it. So they go another way.
Yeah, but one of the things
in handling the problem.
Well, one of the things we do in our seminars and our stroke awareness parent seminars is not only educate people on stroke awareness and fitness side of it, but you know on the mental side of it too.
Yeah.
Because you have this, you know, we let people know that there are certain things that you can do and do not do. As far as that, we can go on days what you can and cannot do, or who and what you can allow to give you problems. But the main thing is make sure that you try to eliminate or downsize the stress level, because it's a health issue. I mean, just like it can cause health problems, just like hygiene can cause health problems. Like, you know, if you're not taking care of going to the dentist on a regular, it can cause you to have problems, blood clots, you know, because your mouth is not taken care of.
A lot of people don't understand that mental stress actually put pressure on both your heart and brain.
Yeah, but
and it's something that you really mentally you have to analyze it to the point that you feel that you have done all you can with the problem, and that you're not going to let it affect other decisions. And generally, when people are under stress, they have a tendency, it affects their environment.
Yes.
It affects with the kids, with the husband, with people.
Yes, sir.
In the store, you know, person is stressed out, and the clerk says something, you know, they go off or something like that. Because they don't like the attitude of the clerk or something like that.
That's another reason when we do the seminars, not only do I have like a fitness trainer, a doctor there, I also have, we actually have not only a medical doctor, but we have a psychologist.
You have a psychologist.
Because one of the things that we tried to, I preach to different stroke victims, to go and get help. I mean, a lot of us, you know, the African American us African American, we're kind of scared of going to what they call "quote unquote" shrink doc, you know.
Yeah.
But mentally, we need that help, because you go into that depression stage, which can cause stress when you have a life changing event like a stroke or a heart attack. So you need that comfort level, but you need that person to be able to talk to. Besides your family, you can do that with your family, but I always suggest to go get professional help, because it helps. I did it because I went to depression. It helped out a lot.
Strenuous things like accidents, death in the family, and things like that puts a lot of physical and mental stress on other people.
Yep.
And sometimes you're in a situation which you did not develop it, but it affects you because it's affecting your child.
Correct.
Your child is under stress, and you feel bad because they feel bad.
Yes, sir.
So you know, sometimes and what can you do? I mean, you can't say, well, it's okay, take your time or whatever.
Yeah.
When they're in a stressful situation, or either if they're in a financial situation and you're not financially able to help them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you worry about the fact that, you know, this is going to happen because of finance.
Yeah, I mean, we can sit here and, you know, come up with different solutions or tell people not to stress, but the best thing is to do is try to make sure the stress level is as low as possible. I mean, you're going to have some days where you are stress-free. You're gonna have some days
Yeah.
where you have stress to the highest.
And it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
You may go into a situation you had nothing to do with, but you become a part of it.
Yeah, but one of the things we do, I mean, as the education side and the speaking side, as I speak not only for the National Stroke Association but the American Heart Association, is to speak on a comfort level to make people comfortable with expressing themselves. And when you express yourself, and you know
that takes some of
this pressure off for you, so you be able to relax a little bit.
Right.
You definitely want to make sure that you have a comfort level that relaxing and calming and stuff. Me, my comfort level. If anybody know me, I say a quote or I say what's on my. I get up in the morning. First thing I do is post on my tweet and Facebook page a nice quote to make sure we try to do stuff. So one of the things on both my on the foundation website, I try to make sure everybody sees something positive and to make sure we have something positive in your day. So, you know, if you feel down or something,
well, I think I'm gonna splurge. I don't get a hot dog. I don't get a hamburger.
Nah, you get a turkey burger. Don't get no hot dog. You don't get no hot dog.
Now, the other thing is that people seem to get the point in education when there's some kind of demonstration. Do you have demonstrations of any kind that
when
people
we
actually perform some of the things?
Yeah, when we have, you know, with me being a part of the American Heart Association and the National Stroke Association, we have DVDs that I show. We show videos. And
participation, that's what I'm thinking.
Participation in the audience. We get the audience participate in different stuff by again, like we had the fitness instructor come in, and he's speaking on the seminar. So he gets them up, showing different stuff that you can do in your chair at work, at home, and your chair at work, to try to get them to see the stuff that you can do just to get the stress level out, but also to get your exercise done for the rest of that day. So,
well, what about the young people? Do you characterize them by age, or
no?
You have your foundation.
No,
you group them by age. You group them by sex, or
no. When we have seminars, we talk to everybody. I mean, knowing that there's records show that
because the teenager has different situations, right?
Teenagers have different situations, but when you're educating them, when you're educating them about the same thing, we want to educate all of them. Even though, you know, there's more women that die from stroke than there is from.
But there's more females that die from
strokes than it is men.
Why?
I guess I guess they got more stress than we do, so I don't know.
They have more stress.
But I mean, scientists, that's record that it's more women.
It's the fact that women generally are associated with the family more so than the male.
You can say that, but I mean,
you know, because they're the ones that home there with the youngsters, and then they have to deal with other situations. Well, I want to thank you for being here, and
thank you.
You know, you're doing a great job. You and Camara there, she's a wonderful person too.
Yes, she is.
She's always bringing positive things to the show, and I think information. You can't get enough information.
Yes, sir.
You know, concerning because situations vary based on the individual, and a lot of it is done because people have a tendency to be sensitive.
Correct.
To a stroke. They figure stroke is associated with a lack of something.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
this has been it, Brown. See you next time.
You got the skills, the smarts.
Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget.
That'd be cool.
Does that corporate job even have recess?
What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?